On my Minelab Manticore, what the heck are Ferrous limits, you might ask? Well, you did ask. So here's the deal, okay? Ferrous limits are part of the Manticore's discrimination. Manticore has different discrimination processes that you can adjust, okay? Discrimination on any metal detector is an audio and visual function, okay? Doesn't have to do with the detector going deeper or what the detector detects at all, for that matter. The detector has already detected what it's going to detect prior to your discrimination coming into play. All right. With Ferrous limits, all right, you have to think of iron in a little bit different way. All right. It's not actually telling you that something is iron. Right. It's telling you that it sees magnetic, aka ferrous property, in or around that target. Um, and that blob, okay, can go from up to down on the screen. Okay, the blob on the 2D screen can go up to down, up and down, and if it's in the center, on that center line, that is the machine telling you that it is the most minimum probability that the item has ferrous properties. It's saying that it sees zero ferrous property. Okay, up to maximum ferrous property, and it can go two different ways depending on the phase of the magnetism. I mean, way more than what we want to get into. But essentially, what you need to know is things that are in the upper end of the screen are going to be your small nails, and things on the lower end of the screen are going to be your larger iron. But there's a range of probability of whether that thing is iron or not. Okay, that's where ferrous limits come in. All right, typically you can just use the factory ferrous limits. All right. Now, for example, let's just say that I don't want to hear the machine unless my target is sitting right on that center line. Okay, I don't want to deal with all the junky signals, and I don't want to deal with possible good targets that are, showing ferrous property. I can raise my ferrous limits. I can squeeze my discrimination, my ferrous discrimination, or my ferrous limits by raising those ferrous limits to the maximum color at the top and the bottom, the maximum grayed out area. Um, and that all that does, okay, the blob will still show up. Okay, it'll show up on the screen, up in the gray. Machine will not um, the machine will not beep in discrimination mode, and in all metal mode, it will give you the low iron tone if the item falls in that. Let's just say that you squeeze those bars down to almost the center line, and something's just slightly above the center line, but in that gray, it's going to give you the low iron tone in all metal mode. Okay, and nothing in discrimination mode, and a red number. Okay, so if you're in all metal mode, you'll get an iron tone and a red number. If you're in discrimination mode, you'll get nothing. Okay, except the blob on the screen will still come in. The machine's still detecting those things. Okay, no matter where you set your ferrous limits, you're just telling the detector how to report the targets to you. Do I want that to sound like a good target, or do I want that to sound like an iron target? You're just telling it how to report it to you. You're not telling it what to detect. You're not increasing your depth. You're not increasing the power of the machine. You're not doing any of that. All you're doing is affecting the display and the sound coming out of the machine. Okay? Um, but that's it. I find myself barely using them here. in the United States, our coins are all non-ferrous. Okay, we don't have iron in our coins. Okay, they're zinc, they're copper, and or whatever other alloys are in them. But they all come up non-ferrous, every single one of them. And of course, old ones can be silver. Now, if you're in another country, Canada has iron, magnetic coins. Other countries. I don't know how you want to deal with that. But the way I would do it is set your ferrous limits very low, and then discriminate with a discrimination pattern as far as blocking out things, that and leaving open where the coins fall. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. I'm not an expert on that in any way. But that's all ferrous limits are. All right. So hey, have a good one. Tell me in the comments, what other questions you have about it, and I'll do my best to answer them. Appreciate you watching. Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Swing away.